Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back, you guys. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here with a review for the Clark sisters. Surprise! She late, honey, but she is on time, and now I can go back and watch all the other Clark sister movie reviews that I have been avoiding. I'm especially excited about seeing Rambling K's review. One, because we haven't seen K in a while, but also because, you know what I'm saying, we birds of a feather, okay? We was raised real similar like, so I'd love to hear kind of her take on the movie. But if you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you here as a member. Hit that subscription button as well as the notification bell right next to that. Also, of course, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button. Now, I'm not saying you forgetful. I'm just saying you be forgetting. So just go ahead and do that right now. And then bada bing, bada boom, housekeeping done, right? Plus, you guys know I love it when y'all hit that thumbs up. That's like saying, hey, Miss Honey. You know what I'm saying? It's like ringing the doorbell. It's like checking in. You know what I'm saying? Also, comment down below. I know you guys are going to have some really good comments, and I'm excited about it. It is a part of my daily tasks to talk to you guys in the comments. So please don't neglect to leave a comment down below. Let's talk about the movie. Ugh. I like the movie. It was a good movie. It was perfect for lay people, or as they say in the church, the world. It was perfect in that sense. It was palatable. It was entertaining. It wasn't too egregious. It wasn't too shocking. It wasn't too wordy, I guess, or too boring. I mean, they left a tremendous amount of things out. But, you kind of have to do that nowadays because people's attention span is so short. So yeah. And a lot of people, kind of like me, I didn't never need to know the truth because I like the Clark sisters for what they were. And a lot of these biopics and stuff like that, I don't really like to watch them because it's like peeking behind the veil. Just let me enjoy the music, please. Just let me enjoy the music. You know what I'm saying? Like all that other stuff that be in there, I just please let me just enjoy the music. Please don't don't take everything away from me. You know what I'm saying? Don't destroy it for me. Anyway, sometimes it can't be helped, but yeah, I mean, so in that respect, it was perfect. It was perfect, and from what I can see, a lot of people enjoyed the movie. It got rave reviews. I've seen the thumbnails for a lot of reviewers out here. A lot of them are popular reviewers, but they've gotten really great numbers on their reviews for the Clark sisters and movie. And so, it just tells me that it's a topic that people are into. They enjoy the movie, that type of thing. So, but to me, in order to really, really, I look at things a little bit differently. Sometimes I can peel back a little too deep into stuff sometimes, but I just, I feel like the movie was done in a way that you had to assume a lot of stuff. And I just feel like if you're going to tell a story, just tell it. Just for real. Just pull the mask. If you're going to pull a mask, pull the mask. Pull the mask. Okay? Don't chew my food up and put it in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Put that steak right here and let me work on this bone. You know what I'm saying? So in order to enjoy the movie, they must have assumed that we knew all of this stuff before. I would have loved to see a little bit about Maddie, Dr. Maddie Moss Clark from her childhood. Like, bring us from this one little snippet where a point in her childhood is being told, and then we see her as a mom, maybe. We don't see the kids from a very small age at all. We see the girls when they're like initially like 8, 7, 9, 10, 12-ish. I don't know. Y'all know I don't have children, so it's hard for me to like see age, but they were small. They was like 8-ish, 9-ish, 10-ish type looking. Anyway, and then we see again in their teenagers. So, not that you should have drag it out like that, but so like I said, they would you have to assume that to do this movie the way they did it, that people know the story. Dr. Maddie Moss Clark. She wasn't I believe they kind of portrayed her to be doctor at that point, at some point, like by the second season. Second scene, I think I can remember someone calling her doctor. And she didn't become a doctor until like 85 or something like that. But anyway, very accomplished woman. She was very strict, very prideful. Pride can go either way. It could be a gift or the curse. You know what I'm saying? Hold your head high. Don't let nobody put you down at the same time. You act like you beyond reproach. Yeah. You can't yield none. You ain't got no give. But anyway, but she was also doting. I did make a note that throughout the movie, she was always baby, sweetie. She was strict. She was strict. She was strict. I don't know where they got that throwing the shoe from, but they say she was famous for it. But she loved on her girls, verbally and with affection. She seemed very affectionate towards her children, although she was still strict, Listen, Albert Clark, which is the name that she kept because that was her second husband. And I'm only bringing this up because you have to think about how strictly she raised her girls, okay? But she was married twice. The first man she was married to was Cullum. And then he died. Leo Henry Cullum. I don't know if he died or she divorced him. I think she may have gotten a divorce from him. Well, she had 2 kids. The daughter, Jackie, I believe it was Jackie. Let me check my notes. Yep, Jackie, and they had a son, Cullum Jr. Her first 2 children was by another man. Now, wasn't that Jackie that Albert, the second husband, slapped and get out of my house? You better be gone when I get back. I wondered why he would do that. And I said to myself, he didn't treat her like he was her child at all. Come to find out, child. Come to find out. Now, so Twinkie, Dorinda, Karen, and Denise, Niecy was by Clark. Okay, but Jackie, Clark wasn't Jackie's daddy. And they never mentioned the son. Okay. Now, all of this plays into what we're going to talk about in terms of this movie. And the big part of that is the religion. Okay. Secrecy. Anyway, we're going to talk about it. Like I said, accomplished, strict, prideful, doting. She was stubborn unto death. And that's another thing that, I mean, when I say I live free, because I grew up, in holiness and Pentecostal. I live free now is because I take my medicine. I take my medicine, whether it's holistic or prescribed. I try to do as much of the holistic as I possibly can so I don't have to do a lot of the prescribed. But you find a lot of people back in the day and of this religion, they act like, God's going to heal me. I'm healed. And you got to take one step and God will make 2. You got to show yourself faithful and do your part too. Okay, so she was also very stubborn. Okay, let's talk about this religion. Pentecostal is how I can best say what Kojic is. It is Pentecostal. Now is morphed into a kind of different animal in some sectors. Now it can be real. It's kind of always been a well dressed performance. Always have been. We kind of see that with Dr. Maddie Moss Clark. Every time we saw her in the movie, she was dressed nice. Occasionally she had a bathrobe on or something like that. But when we saw her full on, she was pulled together, boo. She was pulled together, even when she was with Clark. Okay, and he was wailing on top of her head. Okay, she was pulled together. But like I said, she was very accomplished, very accomplished. Now, she got her doctorate, an honorary doctorate in humanities. But that is because of all the work she did, not just with state choirs, mass choirs. She was one of the first people that pioneered bringing choirs from all different regions and different churches together to create a mass choir sound. She worked with she worked with James Cleveland, very, very, very well known. And she was up under D.H. Sheard, DJ Sheard. Anyway, pay attention to that Sheard, because you know Karen Clark, Sheard. She married the Sheard. Okay, but we ain't gonna, all right. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. So, yeah. So, you know, she was very, very accomplished, but a lot of that had to do with how she was and how ambitious she was within the confines of the religion. Okay, Pentecostal in a nutshell is kind of like it's kind of like a relaxed holiness. Just slightly, because holiness, they don't wear jewelry like that. They don't wear makeup. They don't wear pants, and most of the ladies don't cut their hair. Okay, holiness is kind of like being Orthodox Pentecostal. If you think about what holiness looks like in terms, if you had to see, it would be the Duggars. You know, the Duggars don't pull the TV out. They don't pull the TV out but twice a year. I mean, it's like a little black and white TV. They pull it out twice a year. Holiness is a different animal altogether. It requires a level of dedication that most individuals now don't have, could not have. It requires a level of dedication. It would be hard now for someone to be holiness. It would be difficult. It can be done, but like I said, it was hard for them to do it, and they did it. If they have social media, you know what I'm saying? They struggled at it. We're only just now finding out a lot of things about our grandparents and our great grandparents that we had no idea. But again, it's about appearances. It's a lot of secrecy, control, and definitely money. Money plays a big part, which is why, you know, you have all these huge events. You know, it's about generating money. And that includes the talent. The talent plays a big part in money, because the talent is people love to be entertained. They love a good singing. You know what I'm saying? They like to get raggedy and run up and down and practice their dance moves. You know what I'm saying? Shouting, they love to stammer tongues. They love to say the same sound that is supposed to be tongues over and over again, but not really speaking in tongues. Like, it's just it's a performance. It's a performance. People are there for the performance. They're there to wear their best frocks, that type of thing. But also, out of Kojic has come some of the most anointed preachers. I'm talking about people who in their early years were profound in terms of learning the Bible, learning the word, learning prayer and how to pray, how to worship, how to submit, how to serve. I'm talking about them type of preachers back in the, very edifying. These people were the TD Jakes of their time, and most of these individuals that you see more now on the mainstream came out of Kojic, but they were able to be more mainstream because of Kojic, because they left Kojic. But anyway, I digress. A lot of secrecy in this religion. We didn't know a lot of stuff about the girls. We didn't know a lot of stuff about um, Denise being pregnant. We just got that moment about Denise being pregnant. We never saw Denise pregnant. We never saw Denise get sat down. They didn't do that. They didn't show that because back then, a girl got pregnant, she got sat down, meaning she couldn't sing with them. Okay. Remember, a lot of their mom's rise was, one, because she was excellent at what she did. She had an amazing ear. But two, she was a part of committees and associations and divisions and regions and, organizations. And I mean, she was, you see, every time you saw her in the movie, she had a pen, a pen on her jacket, boo, and a pen in her hat. She was an accomplished woman, and she was considered to be upper echelon. She was like Eastern Star. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember Eastern Stars? People don't talk about Eastern Stars but yeah, she was AKA. She was Delta. She was a lady of a certain, stature. And for them not to talk about the daughter being pregnant a little bit more as it pertains to church, I don't know. I was like, So that's what I mean by secrecy. It was a lot of stuff that wasn't told in the story, but then it was a lot of stuff that was not talked about. It was stuff that was whispered about. Even when it comes to, was it Karen's surgery? They still didn't tell us what she had surgery for, but what the whisperings was that she had a weight loss surgery. She had a weight loss surgery. I don't know all the ins and outs. Like I said, it was whisperings, So, yeah. And, it's about control. It's about control. In order for you to keep your image, your kids got to look perfect. You look perfect. Your kids got to look perfect. They got to be perfect. But people just forget. They just forget about how I do think they did a good job, kind of trying to nutshell how each one of the girls kind of rebelled in their own way, that type of thing. But I would have loved to see Maddie Moss handle one of her girls being aggressed in the church by men, because I like I said, you got 5 girls, you know what I'm saying? A girl child ain't safe in a church full of men. You got 5 girls, and we didn't get anything about, how those girls really matriculated in church, that type of thing. They really didn't seem like they necessarily had a church home. I mean, they was under Elbert's church, the Clark, Elbert Clark, her second husband, Dr. Maddie Moss Clark's second husband. But they didn't talk about the church they went to after that. I mean, they was under a bishop and a board and all that stuff. I'm sure they belonged to one church, but it seemed like most of the time they was traveling on the weekend. They wasn't in their home church. So, I guess you can't tell everything, but at the same time, it's still some things. Me having grown up in Pentecostal, I know how it is. But I also know that if you talk too much about what's going on, there is this thought process, again, as it pertains to control, that talking against the church is kind of like keeping people from coming to Christ, which I disagree. But anyway, all the girls were unique and different. In some form or another, they still all work within Christendom. They're either pastors or first ladies, writers. A lot of them still sing. that type of thing. So, they stayed in the religion. They stayed in Christendom. Um, but Christendom has been good to them. I guess from a financial standpoint, it is what it is. So, yeah, I just wish they had I don't know, just gave us something more. I was just looking for something more raw. I don't know why, but I was. And I'm sure these ladies have got some stories to tell. Maybe just not here. Let's see. On the funeral, I remember a little scuttlebutt about Dr. Maddie Moss's Clark's funeral. I think she died in '94. You know, 6 kids, 5 girls. So the funeral was packed. Aretha Franklin sang at her funeral. There's videos out there where there's some kind of grainy footage of the eulogy and people singing at the service and that type of thing. It was a huge thing. But Maddie Mars Clark's sphere, excuse me, guys, sphere of influence was huge. It was huge. And I don't know, I just felt like the way they told this story, it just kind of scaled it down a little bit. Their mom is the reason why they're telling this story. We don't see Twinkie go with Dr. Maddie on these trips. We don't see just her and Twinkie. And like, I'm telling you, the lady was huge. The lady was huge. Absolutely. So, I don't know. There was some scuttlebutt about the funeral. And I remember that kind of. I don't remember the details. Again, this was in '94. This was different. This was more still like, did you hear? Have you heard? Or I heard. But again, people in the church they have a way of protecting their own. They have a way of keeping things kind of low key. In certain instances, it's kind of different now, but back in the day, you just wasn't seen. That was something later on when you put your house coat on. Your mama put her house coat on when she got on the phone and talked about it. I like the end scene. I like the fact that we saw the actual girls. I wish we could have seen all of the ladies singing. I thought that would have been nice. I don't know if things are still strained between Denise. Denise is not a sister that you hear about a lot. If you hear about anybody, it's Twinkie. Really Karen, Twinkie. Dorinda did like a Preachers of LA or something like that type situation. Yeah, we know Kiki, Kiera, Sheard. That's the grandbaby. So I would have liked to see all of them. I would have enjoyed to see a family photo of everybody, like all together, even the boys. Like it would have been a bit of an homage to their mom. Like that last scene where she refused to go to the doctor, like she had her leg amputated. She was in a wheelchair for a long time and on oxygen and still going to services. Still dressing up in furs and hats and big old giant pins in her hair and on her lapel. Yeah, but she was in a wheelchair. She had that leg amputated up to like mid calf, not mid calf, like mid shin bone-ish. But we didn't get to see any of that. It was like she looked out the window in the hospital bed, and next thing you know, everybody was coming in white. I wish I could get me them hats from the funeral, some hats that look like that. I like to have me a couple of hats. Anyway, yeah. So I just thought I was just like, why didn't they show all her people together in a picture, like a photo of her family, the legacy that she had there left. I mean, it just I don't know, and I don't know why I remember Dorinda being the one that was really broken up. I mean, I know they were all broken up, but the one that was really having a hard time with her mom's passing. But apparently Twinkie had a nervous breakdown. Like I don't remember that at all. Um I don't know. I don't know. That's weird to me. So anyway, I just don't think that the way they ended the movie in terms of what the characters how the characters end up being portrayed. I did like the end scene where they all the real sisters were singing together, three of them anyway. Um did this movie have impact? Listen, if it helps some mom somewhere realize that they have to rear their children, give them foundational principles, and trust them to make their own way, how they talk to their children, whatever. I say that because a lot of people now, they don't, they're probably a little bit easier on their children than Maddie Moss Clark. But for those who have a way of talking to their children and speaking to their children, if it helps you to see that that's something you might need to work on. Um, if it helps these girls out here realize that you can't get a man off the street corner with much of nothing, with not a pot nor a window, and try to make him into a man. Like, see, this been going on for generations. You saw it in Sparkle, you saw it in the Clark movie, Clark Sisters movie. The story is being told over and over and over and over again. Girls, get your own. Get your own. Okay? God bless the child that's got his own. Okay? Just saying. um like I said, the things that weren't my favorite in this whole movie was the fact that there were really no meat details for me. um it wasn't meaty. I think it's a missed opportunity. Being meaty is a missed opportunity. To me, it can be just as entertaining. I wonder if the girls have written any books that really kind of got down into the depths of things a little bit more. Maybe some really great stories about some things that happened. I could appreciate that. Like I said, no real details about how Maddie Moss Clark became doctor. No mention of just the whole host of things that she had actually accomplished. Now, they did show that she had gold records, but they really didn't expound upon that. They really didn't expound upon that. And even with everything, it didn't really seem like she was financially, you never saw them from this moving on up to the sky type situation. And from what I have seen, Dr. Manny Moss Clark was whistle stop. You know what I'm saying? Like nice things, had nice things. That's what it kind of seemed like to me. Like she was considered church royalty, like up there. But you didn't really see her like that. You kind of always saw her as going to mama's house kind of for it's a gnat in here. It's driving me crazy. Going to Big Mama house for, it's kind of like soul food-ish. I don't know. Let me just tell you, if you grew up in church life like that, whether it was Baptist, Methodist, African Methodist, whatever, if you grew up in a type of environment like Pentecostal, it's a very social religion. You have to understand that how them girls would have moved around the church and going after their mother and just the back door type information of things would have been very interesting. I promise you that. I promise you that. That is the story, baby, that they could have told in 3 parts. Dollars to donuts. But at that time, it wasn't discussed, and children were raised to keep certain things, especially in the Black community, especially in a religious Black home. What go on at the house, stay at the house. And the same thing kind of at the church. It's not like it is now. Okay? Not like it is now. Let's see. Yeah, so that is it. I can't believe I did everything, all my notes, everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this. How did y'all like the movie? How did y'all feel about it? Do you guys, are you familiar with, one of the more supposedly devout? To me, it's not as devout now. It's still about image and all of that, that Kojic type environment. To me, it's a lot more flashy now. It's more, it's more mainstreamish. It's not, doesn't have as much reverence, to me as it once did. And there's just a lot of layers of secrecy, that is within that organization. If you guys are a part of it or familiar with it, if I'm wrong, let me know. But it just seems like, as it pertains to how many dozens of ministers, preachers, I'm talking about people we've known who have just been exposed as being complete and utter frauds. So yeah, y'all tell me what you think. If you know religion, or if you're familiar at all with the Clark sisters prior to this movie coming out. Did you know all the ins and outs? Did you know that Dr. Maddie Moss Clark was that accomplished? Did you know that she knew a whole host of what we would consider celebrities in the church world? James Cleveland, Dr. Sheard, a whole host of bishops and that type of thing. And overall, what you thought of the movie, let me know. Okay, honeybees, and until next time, mwah, mwah, mwah. I holla.